Sorry to ruin it, Coach.
Brian.
Mark from Celtics.com. Just curious, what's the conversation with the team going into the closeout game, or the potential closeout game, trying to finish this thing off today?
I mean, it's, as everybody's already noted, these games are exceptionally tough. To beat a team 4 times, you have to beat them 1 at a time. And this is a hard team to beat. They're really well coached. We've talked about their physicality over and over. You know, any of the first 3 games could have gone any way. So our focus is to compete at the level that we need to compete at and hit singles, and you know, try to just do it 1 possession at a time. You know, knowing it's going to be really difficult.
Coach, we talk about the physicality of this series for both teams, and naturally soon we're talking about the bigs, but your guards and just what they've been able to do from a physical standpoint. Could you just talk about that?
Both teams guards have been, I think, appropriately physical and very much into the ball and into the body of people and cutters. And it's very, very difficult to get separation either with the ball off of pick and roll or off of down screens or flare screens or whatever the case may be, because both teams have been really good at negotiating those, starting with being into the body. And you know, they've got big, strong guards. We've got big, long wings. And you know, one of the things that we always try to talk about is lower man wins. It's hard to get lower than these guys because they're really, you know, again, I think they're really well drilled and really well coached.
What have been some of the keys for Kyrie, though? Because he's seen a lot of different looks from him defensively on the perimeter. Why has he been able to just consistently?
Well, I don't think Kyrie's going to go through a series in the playoffs without seeing everything. So I think he's seen these, you know, time and again now in his career, from the standpoint of, you know, blitzing 1 game to switching to mixing it up to doing it timeout to whatever the case may be. He's lived it, and so I think that experience helps. And but I think what, you know, where the Pacers, you know, deserve a lot of credit is they can put a lot of different guys on him, and they have. And you know, whether it's Carlson or Wesley Matthews starting the game on him, and then Joseph always has guarded him. But they've done a good job of switching against us and or blitzing. They've mixed it up well too.
Brad, Amanda Blue Guy for Celtics.com. Any further updates on Gershon?
No, I'll know after he goes through his pregame workout. So if he's not active, Jonathan Gibson will be.
Brad, this team has struggled with prosperity this year. Anytime things have been going really well, you tend to let go of the rope, as you say. How do you, going into this game, what do you say to them to prevent that from happening?
You know, I don't know if it's as much during this season. I think we probably struggle more with the adversity part of it. Like when things haven't gone our way, I think we've for whatever reason let that snowball on us. And hopefully we've been better. I think that's why the game 2 comeback was a big deal for us. Some of the things that happened at the end of the regular season was a big deal for us. But heading into the year, certainly a lot of expectations and everything else, and we didn't seem to handle those as well. I think this is, you know, that's part of the learning curve of a team and part of the path of a team. And you know, you hope you get to this time of the year, John, and whether good things happen or bad things happen, you move on to what's next and try to hit a single. And that's easier said than done, but you know, that's what we're really trying to hammer on. Stay in the moment, hit singles. Whatever happened last doesn't matter.
Hi, Brad. Back in Kyrie for a moment. When he has been trapped or double teamed, just how much has he elevated his game in terms of finding the next guy? You know,
I think he's always been really good at that, Mark. I really do. You know, he's always had an extreme knack for passing. I talked about it earlier this year when I coached against him in college. I was more worried about his passing because of who was around him and who was rolling to the rim than necessarily his scoring. Now, we only had 7 games of film and not a lot of information. I probably wouldn't do some of the things we did then, but he can really pass, and he knows the game. And again, I think what Sherrod was mentioning, and he's seen every defense, and so it's just a matter of reading it in game speed, which is tough, and going from there.
Brad, more on injuries. We've hit the 2-week mark with Marcus Smart. He told us he would be reevaluated at that point. Is that something to wait for Monday?
No idea.
Okay.
Seems like he's doing better though. He had a good workout yesterday. What that means timeline-wise, I don't have any idea. No
What
one
kinds of
thinks.
things was he able to do?
I didn't even ask that question. Didn't watch it.
Coach, what time did things get started as a coaching staff for a 1 o'clock game? And how does an early tip maybe change what you guys do before games in terms of being able to meet with the team and things like that?
And we met yesterday with our staff and our team at our normal times. This is game 86, game 4 of the series. We talked about what we need to do different, what we need to do better yesterday. We just reinforced those things when we met as a team this morning prior to coming over here. But sometimes too much information is not a good thing. And when you have a quick turnaround, we just have to make small tweaks and be ready to go and play with great purpose and energy. I mean, at 1 o'clock, it's really important to come out of the gates well.
What time did you get started?
Same time. I'm a normal sleeper. I can't do that. I'm not one of these guys that can go to bed at 2 a.m. and wake up at 5.
Final question.
Coach, Al Horford's ability to switch defensively, how has that impacted maybe you guys' versatility in terms of guarding people?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't done it a lot as a game plan per se, but there are times, we always say there are times where we're not switching, but you have to switch out of necessity because somebody gets hit by a screen, because somebody's behind, because the ball's going to the rim and the guard can't catch up, and he's great at reading those situations. And then he's really good at the point of attack. I mean, the 3 Bogdanovich hit on him in game 2 was a great shot. The very next play, he crowded him and made him do something else. Like, he's a smart player. You're not going to get out twice on the same thing. And he's a guy that knows how to use his length, knows how to use his speed, can catch up to the drive with those 1-foot blocks. And, a lot like Kyrie on offense, he's seen a lot. So he's been through a lot. His versatility has been a huge key to our success the last 3 years.